Hello students, welcome to the course on analog and digital communication systems, and the course code is EC501. This course is for BTech 5th semester EC students. Myself, Dr. Shurojit Boshak, Assistant Professor of EC Department, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology, Kolkata. Today we are starting lecture number 2 from the fourth module, signal vector representation, and the topic is signal space analysis. The lesson objective of this topic is analyze signal vector representation by creating signal constellation, and this topic is mapped with CO number 4. Actually, just I give a brief recap from the last class. In the last class, we have discussed on a generic digital communication systems and find out its average probability of symbol error. And from that, we have determined geometric representation of the signals. The essence of geometric representation of signals for a M set of energy signals SIT is basically a linear combination of n orthonormal basis functions, and this can be represented as equation number 5, that is SIT is equal to summation over j equal to 1 to n Sij phi jt, where the coefficients Sij can be determined following equation number 6, that is 0 to t SIT phi jt dt. The real valued basis functions phi 1t, phi 2t, say phi nt are basically orthonormal. Orthonormal means it should satisfy the two properties. One is normalized to have unit energy, and other is orthogonality. And equation number 5 and 6, we represent it in the form of block diagram. The first block diagram is to represent equation number 5, which is actually called synthesizer, and the representation of equation number 6 is called analyzer. Actually in the analyzer, a bank of n number of correlators are present. Correlator means multiplier followed by an integrator circuit. Not only this, we have also proof that squared length of any signal vector is equal to is energy, and we have determined the angle between the two vectors also, and from using this we have already proved a very popular theorem in mathematics, which is called Scrooge inequality, and it has a tremendous application in communication engineering. Already the one application is found in match filter. So up to this we have discussed in the last class. Now today we start from Graham-Smith orthogonalization procedure. In that procedure, actually signal vector or signals are present. We have to find the basis function, or we have to construct the basis function. So, having demonstrated the elegance of geometric representation of energy signals, how do we justify it in mathematical form? The answer lies in the Graham-Smith orthogonalization procedure, for which we need a complete orthonormal set of basis functions. To proceed, suppose that we are given a signal set. Say the signal sets are S1, S2 to SMT. And the task is to find out a complete set of orthonormal basis functions for these signal sets, say phi 1, phi 2, phi 3, phi nt, where obviously n must be less than or is equal to m. Starting with S1t, chosen from this set arbitrary, the first basis function is defined as S1t by root over E1, where E1 is the energy of the signal S1t. Then we can say that S1t is equal to S11 into phi 1t. From this comes from the geometric representation of the signals, and S1t is equal to root over E1 into phi 1t. Next is we have to construct the second basis function. So first of all, to determine the second basis function, we have to find out S21. S21 means the projection of signal S2t on phi 1t, that is called S21. How it is evaluated? This can be evaluated using S21 is equal to 0 to t, integration of 0 to t S2t phi 1t dt. Now we can say that there is an intermediate function, say G2t, which is say S2t minus S21 phi 1t, and G2t is orthogonal to phi 1t. Now we are ready to define the second basis function, which is phi 2t is equal to G2t in the numerator part, and in the denominator part root over of integration 0 to t G2 square t dt. That is actually the energy that represents the energy. So in that way we can represent the second basis function. Now substituting 23 into 24 and simplifying that phi 2t is equal to S2t minus S21 phi 1t by root over of E2 minus S21 square, because integration of say integration of G2 square, that means here S2 square t, that is nothing but the signal energy, and minus S21 square and integration of phi 1 square t, that is 1. So E2 square minus S21 square t, S21 square. So already we say that phi 2 square dt is 1. So 5, and if we express this expression, if we put the value of phi 1t and phi 2t, then we can easily determine the expression will be 0. So we can say that phi 1t form an orthonormal pair with phi 2t. Now continuing in this fashion, we can say that any intermediate function, say Zit is equal to Sit minus summation of j equal to 1 to I minus 1 Sij phi jt, and the coefficients is Sij is equal to integration of Sit phi jt dt, where j is equal to 1 to 3 up to I minus 1. And in general, a basis function, ith basis function is, say phi it is equal to Git divided by root over of integration Gi square t dt. So this is the general expression to construct a basis function. Now in this regard, we solve some problem. The first problem is, using Graham-Smith orthogonalization procedure, find a set of orthonormal basis functions corresponding to the signals shown below. So the first signal S1t, which is amplitude, whose amplitude is 2 unit and time period is 0 to 1. Similarly for S2t, 3 signals are given, which are represented as S1t, S2t and S3t. And S2t, whose amplitude is 0 to minus 4 and time period 0 to 2. Similarly for S3t, it has a positive amplitude 0 to 3 unit and time period is again 3 unit. So first we determine the energy of signal. To construct the first basis function phi 1t, we have to first determine the energy of signal S1t. So first determine the signal energy of signal S1t, which is denoted as, say, E1, and time period is 0 to 1 s1 square t dt. So integration of 0 to 1 s1 square, that means its amplitude is 2 square dt. So 0 to 1 2 square dt, that is 4. So the first basis function phi 1 t is s1 t by root over e1, and which belongs to 0 to 1. So s1 t is amplitude is 2, whose amplitude is 2. So 2 cancel 1, and it belongs to 0 to 1, otherwise it is 0. So we can see that phi 1 t, this is in figure, phi 1 t whose amplitude is 1 and it exists for 0 to 1. Now we move to construct the second basis function. So to determine the second basis function, first we need to determine S21. S21 is defined as integration of 0 to t S2t phi 1t dt. Now S2t is basically minus 4. Amplitude of S2t is minus 4. So minus 4, and phi 1t is exists for 0 to 1. So the limit, integration limit is 0 to 1 minus 4, phi 1t is 1. And in that case, S21 is minus 4. So now we move to calculate the intermediate function G2t. So G2t is basically S2t minus S21 phi 1t. Now S2t is basically minus 4. So if we calculate it, then G2t is equal to minus 4, where t belongs to 1 to 2, because your phi 1t belongs 0 to 1. So phi 2t belongs to 1 to 2. So G2t is minus 4, where t belongs to 1 to 2, and otherwise it is 0. Then we can easily determine the second basis function, which is G2t by integration of 0 to t G2 square t dt. Now if we calculate it, it will be minus 1, where t belongs to 1 to 2, and otherwise it will be 0. So we can easily construct the second basis function, say in the figure phi 2t, where phi 2t exists between 1 to 2 and has an amplitude say minus 1. Now move to the construct for the third basis function, construction of third basis function. So to determine or to evaluate the third basis function, first we need to determine S31 and S32. So first we determine S31 using the formula that 0 to t S31 is equal to 0 to t integration of 0 to t S3t phi 1t dt. Now S3t exists for, say, its amplitude is 3 and it exists for 0 to 3. So in between phi 1t exists, phi 1t is exist only 0 to 1. So the integration limit is 0 to 1 and amplitude of S3t which is 3 and phi 1t is 1. So it is 3. And similarly S32 is integration of t to 2t S3t phi 2t dt. Now phi 2t belongs to 1 to 2 actually, because your phi 2t belongs to say 1 to 2. So S3t, amplitude of S3t is 3, phi 2t is minus 1, and it has a limit of integration is 1 to 2. And if we evaluate it, then it is minus 3. Now move to the for the determination of G3t. So G3t is basically S3t minus S31t, sorry, S31 phi 1t minus S32 phi 2t. So if we calculate it, you can easily determine that G3t is 3 and where t belongs to 2 to 3 and otherwise it is 0. Therefore, phi 3t is equal to G3t by integration of 0 to t G3 square t dt. So G3t is 3 and G3 square t dt root over of again it is 3. So it is 1 where t belongs to 2 to 3 and otherwise it is 0. So the third basis function is represented in the figure here, which is phi 3t, which exists from 2 to 3 time period, and it has an amplitude of 1 unit. So we have 3 signals. So naturally, maximum number of basis functions are present in this problem is 3. So already we have determined the 3 basis function which are phi 1t, phi 2t and phi 3t. So in that way, we can easily construct the basis functions if the signals are available. Now we move to the another problem to discuss the issues of GSO. The problem is using Graham-Smith orthogonalization procedure, find an orthonormal basis function for this set of signals. Here in this problem, 4 signals are available which are represented as S1t, S2t, S3t and S4t. Where S1t exists for 0 to t by 3 time period and it has an amplitude of 1 unit. Similarly, S2t exists for 0 to 2t by 3 and it has again 1 unit amplitude. S3t exists for t by 3 to t and it has an amplitude of 1 unit, and S4T exists for 0 to capital T, and it has a unit of 1 unit, amplitude of 1 unit. So both four signals have the amplitude of 1 unit. The problem is find out the orthonormal basis functions from this set of signals. So how to determine the first basis function? So to evaluate the first basis function, first we need to find out the energy of signal S1T. So the energy of signal S1T is, say, E1, which is determined as, say, 0 to T S1 square T dt. See, the time period of signal S1T is 0 to T by 3. So the limit of the integration will be 0 to T by 3. And the amplitude is 1 unit. So the limit of the integration is 0 to T by 3, 1 square dt. And it is T by 3. So phi 1T is basically S1T by root over E1, the first basis function phi 1T. So S1T is 1 and root over E1. So it is actually root over 3 by T, where T belongs to 0 to T by 3, as because S1T belongs to 0 to T by 3. So T belongs to 0 to T by 3, and otherwise it is 0. Now move to the construction for the second basis function. So to move for the second basis function, first we need to determine S21, that is the projection of signal S2T on the basis function phi 1T, and which can be determined as integration of 0 to T S2T phi 1T dt. So phi 1T exists only 0 to T by 3, and S2T has a amplitude of 1, and phi 1T is root over 3 by T. So S21 is again root over 3 by T. And energy of signal S2T is, say, E2, which can be calculated using 0 to T S2 square T dt. Sorry, here a dt should be present. So the limit is for the signal S2T is 0 to 2T by 3. So 0 to 2T by 3, amplitude square. So that is 1 square dt. So the energy of signal S2T is 2T by 3. Therefore, phi 2T is the second basis function, which can be determined as S2T minus S21 phi 1T. So this is basically the numerator part, basically identifies the intermediate function g2t, and in the denominator is e2 minus s21 square. That is basically the integration of root over of integration of 0 to t, say g2 square t dt. Therefore, if we calculate, already we know the values of S2t, S21 and phi1t. Similarly, the energy of signal is E2. So we can easily calculate using these two expressions, that is S21, using the result of S21 and E2, that phi2t is equal to root over of 3 by t, where t belongs to t by 3 to t by 3, because phi1t belongs to t by 3 and s2t belongs to 2t by 3. So t phi 2t, or t belongs to t by 3 to 2t by 3. Next we move for the construction of the third basis function. So to evaluate the third basis function, first we need to find out S31 and S32. S31 is the projection of signal S3t on phi1t, that is 0 to t S3t phi1t dt, and phi1t belongs to basically C, phi1t belongs to 0 to t by 3, and in the diagram 0 to t by 3, no existence of signal S3t. So in that part S31 is 0. See here, the S31 is 0. Now move for the calculation of S32, which is equal to 0 to t S3t, sorry, it will be phi 2t. Therefore, S32 is equal to 0 to t S3t phi 2t dt. Now, phi 2t belongs to actually t by 3 to 2t by 3, and S3t has a amplitude of 1 unit, and phi 2t already we evaluate that it is root over 3 by t. So S3t is root over 3 by t. Now the intermediate function git with I equal to 3, that is g3t is equal to s3t minus s31 phi1t minus s32 phi2t. So we know the s3t, amplitude of s3t, and this part s31 phi1t is 0 and s32 phi2t, we know the value using this. So g3t is 1, where t belongs to 2t by 3 to t, and elsewhere it is 0. Therefore, the third basis function phi 3t is equal to g3t by root over of 0 to t, integration of 0 to t g3 square t dt. We know the value of g3t using the last slide. So we can say that G3 phi 3t is equal to root over 3 by t, where t belongs to 2t by 3 to capital T. Elsewhere it is 0. So in that way we can construct the third basis function. Now remember that there are 4 signals are present: S1t, S23, S3t and S4t. Then how many number of basis function are present? Is there possibility, is there any possible chance for existence for the fourth basis function, that is phi 4t? See, the third basis function exists for 2t by 3 to t. Now go for the signal here. Say S40 belongs to 0 to t, and the third basis function belongs to 2t by 3 to t. So from after t, S40 is no longer exist. So phi 4t is not possible after t. So only 3 basis functions are present, and the first basis functions belongs to 0 to t by 3. Root over 3 by t is the amplitude. See, root over t by first basis function, root over 3 by t, and it exists to 0 to t by 3. Second basis function phi 2t exists for, see here, t by 3 to 2t by 3, and amplitude is again root over 3 by t. See the second basis function. And the third basis function exists for 2t by 3 to capital T, and amplitude is root over 3 by t. So these are the basis function. In that way, we can easily construct the basis functions using Graham-Smith orthogonalization procedure if the signals are given. Okay, up to this, the today's session. Now I am ending the session. Okay, thank you for your patience.